Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Jay. Look at this. Second Sunday. Started on time. Got beads going on in the chat. Like, thanks for making it so pretty in there always. Like, damn, do you see that going on?
I see that.
I know. Cool. Damn.
So
Everybody
if we
seems.
if we got beads, doesn't that mean we got to show our boobs?
Well, I'm an avatar. In. Okay, there you go. Throw me some boobs, girl. Okay. I mean, not boobs, beads. I got the boobs. You got the beads. Throw the beads. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, whatever. I messed that one up, but anyway. Yeah, what do you expect? It's second Sunday, and don't say the M word. It's verbal. It's verbal. Okay. Welcome, everybody. It's nice to see a bunch of you in the chat. Our murder minions. We got a little different type of thing going on tonight. We don't know who did it. AJ, we're not going to know who did it. We don't know who did it. We don't know who did it. We're going to talk about some murders from Louisiana. We got 2 unsolved, and we have the 12 most notorious that we could tell you about a little bit. But Louisiana seems to be a nice little playground for serial killers, and crafty ones, since we don't know who did it. There's that. So it's nice to see some new faces too. Anyway, all those beads, be careful you don't trip over the beads, people, and don't get those exposure tickets either. Be careful. Be careful out there. But so Mardi Gras week. How are you today, Jay?
I'm good. I got my video done, so
yeah,
that posted. That was.
Let me. You know how happy I was to see that? Like, I'll admit it, people. I was in my cave all day. Yes, the bear. She was knocked out in her cave all day till about I guess less than an hour ago. So if I sound a little rough, that's it. I've just been just feeling it just a little bit. But let me tell you how excited I got when the first thing I see on the Twitter streets is Jack the Ripper. Like, yeah, I admit I'm a little weird. Jack the Ripper right there. Jay dropped his video. I can't wait to watch that later. And we could maybe if one of the mods could grab that link and make sure we have that down there for Jay. He finally got that out. I know it was a bit of a struggle, Jay.
It wasn't as long as I thought it was going to be. It only come in at just over an hour, so.
No, but that's that. You know what? That's amazing because you told me the word count.
Yeah.
And we were thinking like almost 2 hours.
Yeah,
like, oh my god! You're like,
I think it come in at like an hour 10.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. That's like half the time what we thought it would be.
Yeah.
Okay. Crabby. Wait. Okay. Let's see. I just flashed you, and you should be happy you couldn't see it. Wait a minute.
Nah.
Okay. Throw that girl some beads. Okay, here we go. Oh, Raven said, compliment. He worked hard on that, and I liked it quite a bit. That's I'm gonna check it out right after this because Raven's that's like saying that's excellent. So we're definitely gonna check that out. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh! But anyway, so what do you say, Jay? You feel like letting them know about this unsolved misery from New Orleans? Misery of a mystery and a murder. See? All right. Jay's going to read while I get another couple sips of coffee. And otherwise, this is going to be a hot mess. Here we go. Okay. So, do you want me to pull it up for you or you go? Okay.
I've got it.
Okay, cool.
So, we're going to start off with the Axeman of New Orleans. The Axeman of New Orleans was an American serial killer active in New Orleans and the surrounding communities, including Gretna, from May 1918 to October of 1919. Press reports during the height of the public panic about the killings mentioned similar murders as early as 1911, but recent researchers have called these reports into question. The Axeman has never been identified, and the murders remain unsolved. He had mainly targeted Italian immigrants and Italian Americans. So, as the killer's epitaph implies, the victims usually were attacked with an axe, which often belonged to the victims themselves. In most cases, the panel on the back door of the home was removed by a chisel, which, along with the panel, was left on the floor near the door. The intruder then attacked one or more of the residents with either an axe or a straight razor. The crimes were not motivated by robbery, and the perpetrator never removed any items from his victims' homes. The majority of the Axemen's victims were Italian immigrants or Italian Americans, leading many to believe that the crimes were ethnically motivated. Many media outlets sensationalized this aspect of the crime, even suggesting mafia involvement despite the lack of evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Some crime analysts have suggested that the killings were related to sex and that the murder was perhaps a sadist specifically seeking female victims.
Mm-hmm.
Criminologists Colin and Damon Wilson hypothesized that the Axemen killed male victims only when they obstructed his attempt to murder the women, supported by the case in which the woman of the household was murdered and not the man. A less plausible theory is that the killer committed these murders in an attempt to promote jazz music, suggested by a letter attributed to the killer in which he stated that he would spare
Mm-hmm.
the lives of those who played jazz in their homes. The Axeman was not caught or identified, and his crime spree stopped as mysteriously as it started. The murderer's identity remains unknown to this day, although various possible identifications of varying plausibility have been proposed. On March 13th, 1919, a letter purporting to be from the Axeman was published in the newspaper saying that he would kill again at 15 minutes
Mm-hmm.
past midnight on the night of March 19th, but would spare the occupants of any place that the jazz band was playing. That night, all of New Orleans dance halls was filled to capacity, and the professional and amateur bands played jazz at parties at hundreds of houses around town. There were no murders that night.
Oh, I want to read the letter. Do you
Go ahead.
mind? Okay.
You can
Okay.
read the letter.
I love these letters. You know, I like to read the Jack letter too. Okay. Apparently, it's from hell on March 13th, 1919. Esteemed mortal, they have never caught me, and they never will. They have never seen me, for I am invisible. Even as the ether that surrounds your earth, I am not a human being, but a spirit and a demon from the hottest hell. I am what you Orleanians and your foolish police call the Axeman. Well, I see fit. I shall come and claim other victims. I alone know whom they shall be. I shall leave no clue except my bloody axe, besmeared with blood and brains of he whom I have sent below to keep me company. If you wish, you may tell the police to be careful not to rile me. Of course, I am a reasonable spirit. I take no offense at the way they have conducted their investigations in the past. In fact, they have been so utterly stupid as to not only amuse me, but His Satanic Majesty Francis Joseph, etc., but to tell them to beware. Let them not try to discover what I am, for it were better that they were never born than to incur the wrath of the Axeman. I don't think there is any need of such a warning, for I feel sure the police will always dodge me, as they have in the past. They are wise and know how to keep away from all harm. Undoubtedly, you Orleanians think of me as the most horrible murderer, which I am, but I could be much worse if I wanted to. If I wished, I could pay a visit to your city every night. At will, I could slay thousands of your best citizens, for I am in close relationship with the angel of death. Now, to be exact, at 12:15 earthly time, on next Tuesday night, I am going to pass over New Orleans. In my infinite mercy, I am going to make a little proposition to you people. Here it is. I am very fond of jazz music, and I swear by all the devils in the nether regions that every person shall be spared in whose home a jazz band is in full swing at the time I have just mentioned. If everyone has a jazz band going, well then, so much better for you people. One thing is certain, and that is that some of your people who do not jazz it out on that specific Tuesday night, if there be any, will get the axe. Well, as I am cold and crave the warmth of my native Tartarus, and it is about time I leave your earthly home. I will cease my discourse, hoping that thou wilt publish this, that it may go well with thee. I have been, am, and will be the worst spirit that ever existed, either in fact or realm of fantasy. The Axeman. God. Oh God, I got chills. I got chills. Right. Right. Well, he's well written. He's well spoken.
He is so full of shit.
Okay. He's a little creepy though. Like, come on. Yeah, Red.
He's a
That
lot creepy and a lot crazy.
yes, he is definitely being a lot crazy. And there was like so many victims, and there's several uh, sp- uh, suspects, and I don't know what order to do them in. Should we do the victims and then the suspects, or the suspects and then the victims? I don't know. There's just so much. They all. I mean, there were, there was a few women, but it was mostly men, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's see. Why don't we look at the victims first?
okay, okay. And we'll share it up because there's so many of them. We'll do every other one. You want to start?
Mm.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
you
Raven said that
oh,
was rude. What was rude?
what was your? I'm sorry. Was it the reading? I'm sorry. It was really really chilly for me to read it, but I enjoyed it. It was almost like a Jack letter. I got like, and maybe it's the arrogance of it. I don't know. Well, you said he was full. Oh, I know what she's saying because you said he was
Oh,
full of
because I was
whatever.
full of shit.
Yeah, but you got to admit how well written he was. I mean, he used big words and everything. Like, come on, it
Oh,
was well
yeah.
done,
She
and
said
he knows how to.
it was rude
Go
because
ahead.
Krabby got interrupted.
Oh,
Yeah. Krabby said had to rewind and play it fast. I was interrupted. How rude.
mhm. Oh, so sorry there, Krabby. So sorry.
Definitely
Okay.
rude.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay. Mm.
So how about we jump right into Joseph and Catherine Maggio?
Oh, yeah, you read those two because that one's like real short. So do one and two, and then I'll do three, and then we'll switch off.
All
Okay.
right. So
Mm-hmm.
Joseph Maggio was an Italian grocer, and his wife Catherine were attacked on May 23rd, 1918, while sleeping alongside each other at their home on the corner of Upper Line and Magnolia Streets. The killer broke into the house, then proceeded to cut the couple's throats with a straight razor. Upon leaving, he bashed their heads in with an axe, perhaps in order to
Mm-hmm.
conceal the real cause of death. Joseph, though, survived the attack, but died minutes after being discovered by his brothers, Jake and Andrew. In the apartment, law enforcement agents found the bloody clothes of the murderer, and he had obviously changed into a clean set of clothes before fleeing the scenes. A complete search of the premises was not completed by the police after the bodies were removed, yet later the bloody razor was found on the lawn of the neighboring property. Police ruled out robbery as a motive for the attacks, as money and valuables were left in plain sight and nothing was stolen. The razor that was used to kill the couple was found to have belonged to Andrew, the brother of the deceased who conducted the barbershop on Camp Street. His employee, Esteban Torres, told the police that Maggio had removed the razor from a shop 2 days prior to the murder, explaining that he had wanted to have a nick honed on the blade.
Hmm.
Maggio, who lived in the adjoining apartment to his brother's residence, discovered his slain brother and sister-in-law roughly 2 hours after the gruesome attacks had occurred. So Joseph survived 2 hours after having his throat slit and his head hit with the axe. Oh Lord!
That's I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. Mm.
Um, so Andrew would become the police chief's prime suspect in the crime. It was released after investigators were unable to break down the statement that he made, as well as the account of an unknown man who had supposedly been lurking near the residence prior to the murders. And then Catherine, her throat, like you said, was cut like Andrew's. That her so deeply that her head was nearly severed at her shoulders. Unlike Joseph, she did not survive long after the attack, if at all, and died before her husband and brothers found them.
Well, that's something. Just I just want to address something in the chat if I could find the comment. But Janae, that's fascinating. She says she's a Jack R fan and she's read everything, and she's a bit pissed that DNA identified him because she wanted that mystery to stay one forever.
Well, I actually
And
discussed the DNA evidence in
yeah.
the in my video. So
I do hope you check out his video. That's why I wanted to put this up before we go on, and to discuss that. But yeah, I mean that that could be a topic for a roundtable when we get our murder minions together. Yeah.
mhm.
So all right, we'll go on with the third. The third victim was Louis Bessemer and his mistress Harriet Lowe were attacked in the early morning hours of June 27th in 1918 in the quarters at the back of his grocery store, which was located at the corner of Dorgenes and La Harpe Street. Bessemer was struck with a hatchet above his right temple, which resulted in a possible skull fracture. Lowe was attacked over the left ear and found unconscious when police arrived at the scene. The couple was discovered shortly after 7 a.m. on the morning of the attack by John Zanka, a driver of a bakery wagon who had come to the grocery store in order to make a routine delivery. Zanka found both Bessemer and Lowe in a puddle of their own blood, both bleeding from their heads. The axe, which had belonged to Bessemer himself, was found in the bathroom of the apartment. Bessemer later stated to police that he had been sleeping when he was bashed with the hatchet. Almost immediately, police arrested potential suspect Louis Obicon, a then 41-year-old African-American man who had been employed in Bessemer's store just a week before the attacks. No evidence existed which could have proved the man guilty, yet police arrested him nonetheless, stating that Obicon had offered conflicting accounts of his whereabouts on the morning of the attack. Shortly after the attempted murder, Lowe stated that she remembered having been attacked by a mulatto man, yet her statement was discounted by police due to her disillusioned state. Robbery was said to be the only possible explanation for the attacks, yet no money or valuables were removed from the couple's home. Obicon was later released as police were unable to gather sufficient evidence to hold him accountable for the crimes. Media attention soon turned to Bessemer himself as a series of letters written in German, Russian, and Yiddish were discovered in a trunk at the man's home. Police suspected that Bessemer was a German spy, and government officials began a full investigation of his potential espionage. Weeks later, after going in and out of consciousness, Harriet Lowe told police that she thought Bessemer was in fact a German spy, which led to his immediate arrest. 2 days later, Bessemer was released, and 2 lead investigators of the case were demoted due to unacceptable police work. Bessemer was once again arrested in August 1918 after Harriet Lowe, who lay dying in Charity Hospital after failed surgery, stated it was he who attacked her more than a month previously with his hatchet. He was charged with murder and served 9 months in prison before being acquitted on May 1st, 1919, after a 10-minute jury deliberation.
Yeah, that one's kind of messed up because she says that Lewis attacked her with the hatchet, yet Lewis was attacked himself.
Yeah, like how did that? Yeah, I think that's why it took such little time to acquit him. 10 minutes. They went, what? Wait, make that make sense? Because somebody read that back, and by the time they read it back, they were like, done. Get out of here. You're free. Like, go.
Yeah, well,
right? Yeah.
The thing too was where was they were discovered? Where were they discovered? It didn't say found low in a
no, in the grocery store. They were in the grocery store.
Were they in the grocery store?
Yeah, they're in the quarters at the back of his grocery store. Yeah. That's where they were found unconscious when police were on the scene. Yep.
But the axe was found in the bathroom. So what do you do? Hack her, hack himself, and in the meantime toss
And
the
then
acid into the
yeah,
bathroom?
yeah. You know, he went to clean up, and then he had to find a good spot to lay down and bleed and become unconscious and die, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Almost die. So yeah, I get it. But you know what? I just when things are so fanatical like that, and they think they have a lead, as it said, people got demoted over this case. The case got tossed. Things went back and forth. They arrested the wrong person the first time, and then they arrested the wrong person the second
Mm-hmm.
time, and it wasn't looking good. And I could see why they had to leave it alone for a little while. But I guess it was just like murders are messy, Jay. Messy in both literal and not. It's just I don't know. But I don't know why. I guess on her word though, because it had been so long. If she's dying, and that's her dying declaration, is he did it. It's
Yeah.
pretty heavy words.
Yeah. I said the only because Harriet is the next on the list, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean, noted anything other that we need to note on her itself is she had where'd it go?
Yes, right there.
Uh
It's just that uh, she was,
oh, there
he
it is.
didn't hit her above the left ear like he has done, and that she was unconscious at the crime scene when they found her, and that she had been in the hospital the whole time before she passed. So.
Yeah, one thing to note with her though is Lowe further gained media attention as she repeatedly made statements which voiced her dislike for the New Orleans police chief, as well as
Hmm.
her reluctance to comply with police questioning.
Hmm.
That I had heard in another podcast. A lot of people believe that was somebody from the police department trying to
Hmm.
shut her up, but there's nothing really substantial to back that one up at all.
Hmm. You know what? And it's just like going. This sounds like for 1919, this must have been scandalous. Can you imagine?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
they got victims that are alive. They've got, they're arresting like the wrong people. They're talking bad about the police department in general, which is like
Mm.
going against authority was probably not a big popular thing back then. And I'm just like, this was probably all over the place, like everywhere, like in the media. I bet you it's all they talked about.
Oh
It's
yeah.
all they
There's
talked
a
about,
there's
especially when she was like delirious and doing all those like conspiracy statements, like he's a spy, he's a German spy, they're out to get us. He's like, you could understand why they were like somewhat taking it serious and somewhat not, and you don't know what to believe.
mm,
Mm. But it is noted that those hate, the impact of this axe on their heads is very traumatic. I mean, she was paralyzed and everything. Like even when she was giving her statements and all, her mouth was partially paralyzed and everything for this attack, which she did succumb to uh, the injuries eventually in August. It took. She got attacked what in June,
yeah.
in the end of June, and suffered for well over a month. I, just not right, you know. But
Well,
the other victim, goes to jail for 9 months. It's like not cool. Well, you want the next one?
Well, I was going to say that it interesting because Lowe died August 5th of 1918, and our next victim was attacked in the evening hours of August 5th, 1918. Anna Schneider was 8 months pregnant at the time. 28-year-old of Elmira Street woke to find a dark figure standing over her, and then who commenced to bashing in her face repeatedly. Her scalp had been cut open, and her face was completely covered in blood. Miss Schneider was discovered after midnight by her husband, Ed Schneider, who was returning late from work. Schneider claimed that she remembered nothing of the attack and gave birth to a healthy baby girl 2 days after the incident. Her husband told police that nothing was stolen from the house besides $6 or $7 that had been in his wallet. The windows and doors of the apartment appeared not to have been forced open, and the authorities came to the conclusion that the woman most likely attacked with the lamp that had been on the nearby table. James Gleason, James Gleason, who police said was an ex-convict, was arrested shortly after Snyder was found. He was later released due to the complete lack of evidence and stated that he originally ran from authorities because he had so often been arrested. Yeah, and lead investigators began to publicly speculate that the attack was related to the previous incidents involving Bessemer and Maggio. Now they're
So they are,
starting,
yeah,
yeah, now they're
yeah.
starting to make a connection here.
They're starting to notice a pattern and everything, but they're still like keep arresting the wrong person. They're really jumping a lot. But I think it's the frustration at the time that
Hmm.
how it with the cases being so fresh and close together and everything, and it creates that like bit of panic in the community. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And to know that the doors were not that nothing was ajar or everything, nothing was broken into. It's like they let this one in. Do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, that was
hmm
my thought. With all the
hmm
it's more likely she opened the door for her attacker.
Yeah, it does sound like they may have known them or they were safe. Like talk, in those days, maybe a delivery person you're used to, or what's really becoming evident to me, maybe a policeman. I don't know.
Mm,
You know,
yeah, like I
yeah.
said, that theory was floated around for a while.
Right after when you started reading about Anna Schneider, I'm starting to think, they're messing up all over the place and everything. To get nervous. I think they even thought it was one of their own, because they're making a
Mhm.
lot of sloppy mistakes. They're like, it's almost like the police are anxious to catch this guy so much, like they're just throwing everybody in jail, like they run across, just in case it might be them. But anyway, well, that's like, I don't know what you guys are thinking there, but I'm thinking hmm, maybe a little bit on maybe somebody who's familiar with the police at least. So our sixth victim was Joseph Romano. He's an elderly man living with his two nieces, Pauline and Mary Bruno, and he was attacked on August 10th. Pauline and Mary awoke to a sound of a commotion in the adjoining room where their uncle resided. Upon entering the room, the sisters discovered that their uncle had taken a serious blow to his head, which resulted in two open cuts. The assailant was fleeing the scene as they arrived, yet the girls were able to distinguish that he was dark-skinned, heavy-set man who wore a dark suit and slouched hat. Romano, although seriously injured, was able to walk to the ambulance once it arrived, yet died 2 days later due to severe head trauma. The home had been ransacked, yet no items were stolen from Romano. Authorities found a bloody axe in the backyard and discovered that a panel on the back door had been chiseled away. The Romano murder created a state of extreme chaos in the city, with residents living in constant fear of an Axeman attack. Police received a slew of reports in which citizens claimed to have seen an Axeman lurking in New Orleans neighborhoods. A few men even called to report that they had found axes in their backyards. John D'Antonio, a then retired Italian detective, made public statements in which he hypothesized that the man who had committed the Axeman murders was the same who had killed several individuals in 1911. The retired detective cited similarities in the manner by which the two sets of homicides had been committed, as reason to assume that they had been concluded by the same individual. D'Antonio described the potential killer as an individual of dual personalities, who killed without motive. This type of individual, D'Antonio stated, could very likely have been a normal, law-abiding citizen who was often overcome by an overwhelming desire to kill. He later went on to describe the killer as a real-life Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Now this takes a turn. This definitely takes a turn here, doesn't it, Jay?
Yeah,
Giving,
I
giving
don't
us
know.
more to chew on. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know about the whole. I get wait a minute. All right, let me rephrase this because I was going to say something and I was going to smack myself about it. It was the dual
Yeah,
personality thing, because yes, serial killers do have dual personalities. So, um,
I think they just mean like that, by day looks like a normal
yeah,
kind of a Dahmer thing, kind of,
yeah, that's your
yeah.
typical serial killer too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. Eh, well, the guy was writing he's getting famous for this, Jay. Don't steal his thunder. Come on. It was like 1918. Crikey.
Yeah,
You know.
which I think too. I want to go back up just a second to
Hmm.
Ubacan, the Louis Ubacan,
Hmm.
and for the time frame, I am really surprised they let him go for that. Being
I know.
an
Yeah.
American man,
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
mean, we know of so many cases where they got blamed for things they had nothing to do with. Um,
Exactly.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody's going to, but I believe the Selma riots were based on a white woman saying a black man attacked her, then he was nowhere even near the
There are
area
so
and
many.
whatnot. So
There
yeah.
are so many documented cases of that. It
So
is easy to infer,
mhm.
unfortunately, too easy to infer that that could possibly have gone on. So I'm glad that they didn't find any evidence on him and he got out. But
Yeah,
now they have a witness who says that they see a dark-skinned man, heavy set, in a dark suit and a slouched hat. Okay, so they have like an eyewitness now, somebody to look for. And they've got somebody else speculating on what's going on, a retired detective, which, being a detective gives him some clout in the community. At least
hmm
they're going to start listening to him. And we also see that people are starting to panic even more. Would you say? Like
yeah.
yeah.
The one thing known about the axe murderer is he never carried an axe with him. He always used something from the house. So
Mm-hmm.
when witnesses say, "Well, I seen a man walking around with an axe," that's not who they're looking for. And now
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
that's the difference between now and then. Is then they would have taken that seriously. Now they would have been like, "Well, that doesn't fit
Mm-hmm.
with what we're seeing." So,
No, and also like here we're starting to see the panic get even more
mhm.
because number one, there were people in the house when this was done. The girls were in the other room, and their uncle gets bashed in the head, right there, and the house got ransacked. So there was like the guy's not afraid to come in, and no matter who's there, it's not like you have to be alone.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It doesn't
Um.
matter how many people's in the house; he's going to attack.
Mhm. Mhm. And then people are reporting that axes are being found in yards because, like Jay said, he only uses what's around. So he has to leave an axe, or you have to have an axe. So I can imagine everybody was getting rid of their axes. Like it's like we don't need this. Like get it out of here because he might come and use this on it. If he said they only used what he found at the house,
Yeah,
then
the
be gone those axes, man. Get rid of that.
that
You know.
was the thing too. During that time, a lot of axes were being destroyed. A lot of them were being locked away, like firearms and whatnot. So it was to actually find somebody with an axe out and about was actually kind of hard to do back then, during this time frame
Yep.
because they knew he was attacking with axes.
Nope. Absolutely. And then everybody trying to get in on the story by saying, "There's an axe in my backyard. Look, I might be needs." Okay. Anyway, trying to make the paper in 1919 the wrong way, the wrong way in the early 1900s, the wrong way to make the paper. Do you want to read about Charles?
Well, the next three are actually linked together: Charles, Rosie, and Mary Corda Magilia.
All right. Why don't you do that, and then I'll take 10, 11, and 12 and finish up.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Charles was an Italian immigrant who lived with his wife Rosie and his infant daughter Mary on the corner of Jefferson and Second Street in Greta, Louisiana, a New Orleans suburbs across the Mississippi River. On the night of March 10th, 1919, screams were heard coming from the Corte Magilia. I know I butchered that name. I am sorry. Resident grocer Lorlando Giordano rushed across the street to investigate. Upon his arrival, Giordano noticed that Charles and his wife and their daughter had all been attacked by an unknown intruder. Rosie stood in the doorway with a serious head wound, clutching her deceased daughter. Charles lay on the floor, bleeding profusely. And I lost where he's at. Oh, there we go. The couple was rushed to Charity Hospital, where it was discovered that both
Mm-hmm.
suffered skull fractures. Nothing was stolen from the house, but a panel on the back door had been chiseled away, and the bloody axe was found on the back porch of the home. Charles was released 2 days later, while his wife remained in the care of doctors. Upon gaining full consciousness, Rosie claimed that Orlando Giordano and his 18-year-old son Frank were responsible for the attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Orlando, a 69-year-old man, was in too poor of a health to have committed the crimes. Frank Giordano was more than 6 feet tall and weighed over 200 pounds, would have been too large to even fit through the panel in the back door. Charles vehemently denied his wife's claims Yet police nonetheless arrested the two and charged them with murder. The men would later be found guilty. Frank was sentenced to hang and his father's life in prison. Charles divorced his wife after the trial, and almost a year later, Rosie announced that she had falsely accused the two out of jealousy and spite. Her statement was the only evidence against Giordano's, and they were released for jail shortly after.
Hmm.
So that's a little fucked up.
That is quite messed up. It's like, it's just more and more. Like they're giving us a little more each time, a little more to chew on with every, with the details on every more victim here. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it. Here's the 69-year-old frail man and this giant of a man that couldn't even fit through the door. It's like, how do you still?
How did he fit through? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
how do you
wow.
still charge them when physically they couldn't have done it?
Because that's what I mean. It's just like, I really think they think it's like, I don't know. I'm just getting this inkling. It's like a bear tingle going on here. That it is a police officer or somebody involved with the investigative authorities in this era, because there seems like the police are jumping, like seriously jumping at anybody they can and get them in there to make it look like they're doing their job, because I really think they think it's one of their own. I do. They're acting, very, either that or it's the most inept police force error I've ever come across in reading about. Every single victim, they're making mistakes. Yeah, every single part of the case so far. Mm-hmm.
So you want to jump over to Steve?
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Steve Boca, a grocer, was attacked in his bedroom as he slept by an axe-wielding intruder on August 10th. Boca awoke during the night to find a dark figure looming over his bed. Upon regaining consciousness, Boca ran to the street to investigate the intrusion and found that his head had been cracked open. The grocer ran to the home of his neighbor, Frank Janessa, where he lost consciousness and collapsed. Nothing had been taken from the home, yet once again a panel on the back door of the home had been chiseled away. Boca recovered from his injuries, but could not remember any details of the trauma. This attack took place after the emergence of the infamous Axeman letter. Now, he did not pass, right? And again, the back door, like they're chiseling in, they're breaking in, so it wasn't it wasn't an easy entrance. But again, a looming dark figure. I mean, anyone can be a looming dark figure in the dark. I mean, I'm only 5 foot, but you get the shadow behind me in an open doorway, I could look huge, right?
Yeah.
So that's like not even a good description. You know what I mean? It's just more adding to the mystery. Actually, there's actually nothing here. Except for that he didn't hit him hard enough to keep him down this time.
Yeah.
He got up and he walked to his neighbors. But he unfortunately, he did pass out later, and he doesn't remember any details.
Yeah. Janae says maybe they should have been looking for a guy with a chisel, not an axe. Well, the problem was he was leaving the chisels behind too.
Yeah, he did, and if it was now, they would be all over it with, all kinds of testing and everything. For that, like what would that be like for forensic testing for fingerprints and DNA and everything else that they could pull together. But now it's just like they have the tools, they have everything, and this guy's just keeps walking around, and he's brave, right? Like they're very close. They're close enough together. He's not really afraid of getting caught, I don't think.
Yeah.
And some people have seen him. He's actually run away from the scene of crime. So I don't know. All right, so the 11th victim was Sarah Lawman, was attacked on the night of September 3rd. Okay, now that's almost a month away. Neighbors came to check on the young woman, who had lived alone, and broke into the home when Lawman did not answer. They discovered the 19-year-old lying unconscious on her bed, suffering from a severe head injury and missing several teeth. The intruder had entered the apartment through an open window and attacked the woman with a blunt object. A bloody axe was discovered on the front lawn of the building. Lawman recovered from her injuries, yet couldn't recall any details from the attack. Now that one's a little different too
Mm-hmm.
to me because an open window, you didn't break in, but of course, opportunity.
Opportunity, yeah.
If you don't have to use the chisel, why make all that noise? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She's attacked. It looks like it was like really rough. I mean, she lost teeth on getting hit in the head, and the one thing that is helping to obscure everything is that the attacks are, these traumatic head injuries are so bad that nobody's remembering any details afterward. And that's if they survive. Many of them are dying, but they're including all the people that were attacked, whether they died or not. But it's just wild. This Axeman guy. I'm not liking him too much, Jay. How about you? I'm not a fan.
Not a fan?
No, not a fan. No, 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 no. Although I will say he writes an elegant letter. Put chills down my spine. He writes elegantly. I did not mind reading that. It wasn't one of those like, bad grammar and all that other like weird words that they put in. And, there were no aliens or UFOs or any of that stuff. It was cool.
Yeah, but you got to take into consideration he may not even wrote that letter.
You know what? If they, as described, and the blunt, the way he is actually attacking people, I don't believe he did. It is actually, for me, the fact that he hits them over the head with an axe and he's just so messy about it that I don't think he wrote that letter.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. But okay, we'll get to number 12, which is Mike Pepitone or Pepitone, or I would say Pepitone for now, and I can get corrected later. Was attacked on the night of October 27th. Now we're even well over a month later. His wife was awakened by a noise and arrived at the door of his bedroom just as a large, axe-wielding man was fleeing the scene. Mike had been struck in the head and was covered in his own blood. Blood spatter covered the majority of the room, including a painting of the Virgin Mary. Mrs. Pepitone, the mother of 6 children, was unable to describe any characteristics of the killer. The Pepitone murder was the last of the alleged Axeman attack. So in other words, he was conscious and then died. Many, they're dying of these head wounds. They're so they're so traumatic. This is wow. So we have a witness, and all we have is Lodge.
Yeah, that's about it. Just a large figure.
Yep. Just a large figure. Like they're not understanding at all. Thank you, Bella. It's good to see you. I'm just like, I don't like. There's just not enough here. Any brilliant. Let me just go to comments now that we're at the end there.
Yeah, like Krabby says, or they're stealing really dull tools.
Yes, they're stealing, and Beryllian's like, the attacks are getting less. I mean, I think his axe wielding arm might be getting stronger. But I do agree that, like, it does seem like it's getting less severe. But except for that, there's wow, I wouldn't say less severe since they're dying of their head wounds. But they are walking around more. I'll give you that. These men are getting up and walking and talking to their wives and visiting their neighbors, to get some help. So, but it is still, oh my gosh, I don't know. I just like, and Jenny says, well, that's another clue. Educated. If he wrote that letter, yes, a huge hulking man, with a big shadow that can't fit in some doorways, with an axe and and then sitting down at a desk and writing that letter. I don't see it. I just can't. I just don't see it. I just can't see the image I have in my head of the murderer and the letter writer. They're not fitting to me, especially after reading those words. They're just not fitting to me. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know.
Well, all right. A couple of theories I have heard on this is, one, it was a cop. That was, which they believe was paid off by the mob to take out certain people. Then once again, there was the mob hitman angle. There was another theory was just some trying to remember right offhand. It's been a while since I listened to this. It was a Creole man who had issues with women, but there was no Nothing really behind that that reasoning other than dark skin complexions, and it was in New Orleans. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
um,
Did Did
Claire,
you answer Raven about that
yeah,
one? I
I said
didn't
I knew
hear.
a little bit and introduced
Mm-hmm.
me to it's. I knew a little bit about this, but I didn't. I have never dug deep into it.
Mm-hmm.
It is one
So.
I've been
Mm-hmm.
wanting to, but I never really did. But I will. I
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot here, and I think it may end up being a video in its own right because
Mm-hmm.
there's
Looks.
stuff I listened to. I can't remember if it was on the Axeman of New Orleans or something else.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
seems to
Well,
me
not.
there was more
Yeah.
involved here.
Yeah, there does. And Raven's giving me credit for introducing you to a new tickle there that you got a
Yeah,
little
now,
itch you
now it's
got
an
to
itch I'm
scratch.
gonna have to scratch.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep, it's an itch he's gonna have to scratch. I did it. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Janae, yes, they were mostly Italian. They said that he just like that's his type, I guess. They were mostly Italian Americans. Yeah.
Mhm.
And Brilliant, I agree. In the beginning with the throat, yeah, it was very bloody. You're absolutely right. On that end, I did not give that credit. On that end in the beginning, it was very bloody, right, Jay? I mean, her head almost completely off her body. And now,
Mhm.
and now just the axe is just the blunt trauma to the head. And that could be a timing thing. Or also it could indicate to me two different killers. There you go, Jay. How do you
Yeah.
like that?
Well, that's another theory. That's another theory. It is actually believed to be two different killers because of the savagery in the first set of attacks, and then
Mm-hmm.
it was less savage in the last one.
Yeah, yeah. Let me think. I'll tell you. In that area, it is said, like they're saying, they're mostly Italian. It is a very populated, and always is telling us that it's still largely populated in that area by Italian descent. So like it was a large area of immigration. That happens, and the generations stay along in the area, and there you go. Could be the reason that those are, or it could be a type thing. You never know.
Mhm.
But Virilion's right. I mean, why would he go from doing all of that to just hitting him in the head? Maybe it was just easier to just hit him in the head after that. It became maybe he developed his technique based on less effort because that hit in the head was working quite well. It kind of immobilizes them. It's quick, silent, nobody screaming. And then he's able to do what he wants to do and get out of there. And I'm wondering if robbery, like sometimes there's robbery and things being ramshackled, and sometimes there's not. And so it's like, I don't know. Do you think it's just a swinging of the axe that he actually likes, like hitting them in the head?
It could
Like, is
just
that his
be.
thing?
It could just be the act of the attack itself. Whether or not he actually kills the victim is beyond is a moot point.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it
It
could be.
seems now. I mean, not so much in the beginning with the
Yeah.
grocery couple, because I'll grant that to Virillion for not forgetting about that bloody mess at the grocery store, because that is much different than the other. But maybe that one was that way because of something else that was going on. Maybe they fought back. I don't know. Maybe because there was two of them at the same time. I'm not sure
Well,
what it does. It's
and
very different than the others, isn't it? It's just
yeah,
very, it is, yeah.
and the killings of the grocery couple seems very mob like to me.
And that is why there is rumors about it like being mob connected throughout. Well, first of all, because of the area, and
Mhm.
unfortunately and very unfairly because it's of Italian descent, of course. Of
Mhm.
course, right? That's the first thing I think of. That's not right. But it is where they're going to at least investigate that part of it. But I don't see any like mob connections. Like these people aren't like really up there in the community. We're not talking about big business or politicians or even other mobsters, are we? Like, so what would
Yeah,
be the mob connection? What, unless the grocer didn't want to pay they didn't
protection.
want to their protection money,
Yeah.
and maybe, maybe now here you go. Maybe that's the panic with the police. Maybe they know it's connected to the mob, that it's actually one of the enforcer types that collects protection money, and they kind of have an idea who it is, and they're that crazy vicious that they don't want to like really do too much. Like they're just trying to get somebody in jail for these crimes so they don't have to go arrest who they actually know did the first murder against the grocers. That's interesting. See, that's my theory. The police know who it is, and they can't do anything about it, because back then it was very common. I know. It's very common though that the police also would have been, on the payroll. So,
Isn't this about the same time of Prohibition too?
Yeah, there's a lot of mess going on here, but Raven, we need to ask Herb. This is a good idea. Herb, we need Herb to weigh in on this. We can give him some information.
Prohibition was 20 to 33, so this was before Prohibition.
No, so it was before. Okay, thank you for getting our errors straight. I'm not, you know what? I tell everybody, I'm not good with dates, and I'm very bad with history. Like, you'll always catch me on that, and I actually, welcome the corrections, because I admit to being terrible with that, with history, like and date lines on when errors and stuff would have happened. But this one, I don't know. You guys always say you would like to do an Unsolved. Well, here you go. I brought you one for Mardi Gras. Happy Mardi Gras. I thought we would celebrate with not knowing what the hell is going on, do something a little different. There you go. But,
Janae says we need a big wall with pictures, thumbtacks, and red yarn.
I know. You know what? We'll put one of those in the Murder Minion room over on the Discord. And just a reminder for anybody who actually enjoys these streams that wants to get in on those conversations, I do have a room in the Discord, and I have opened it just for Murder Minions, that room and that ability. I'm not waiting for membership or anything on that. So if you'd like to join, please DM either myself or Jay if you're friends on Twitter or Instagram, or my email is also on the back of the channel. So just get in touch with us if you have a Discord ID and you would like to get in there for those discussions. They're going to be starting soon. As soon as Jay and I can figure out the schedule, we'll be offering an occasional discussions on other episodes that we're doing, and cases like this Unsolved one. You're going to want to talk about it later, aren't you? You're going to want to find out more. You're going to, hopefully if you're a real Murder Minion, your Google fingers are already flying, okay? And you're already trying to figure out what the hell, why aren't they telling us more? Well, there might be more out there that you could go and look, and just, get an idea. But we were trying to tickle your fancy here a little bit and get you interested in what we don't know. And there's a lot about this we don't know, right, Jay? A lot. Like,
Krabby says, wow, I was brushing Lucky and the bot showed up. Thank you, Raven. I thought they were all busy fighting.
Yep. I don't know. So about, the things that we're going to be, Jay, what are we going to be discussing Thursday?
Thursday. I don't think I have a show this Thursday.
Oh, no, not this Thursday. That's right. You don't. I'm sorry. You do not. No, that's my bad. But anyway, so, but we are going to be doing roundtable discussions. That's for sure. We're going to be starting those up. Probably not this week, but soon. So if you're not in there yet in the Discord or anything like that, please, because that's also where you can put ideas for shows, and for things to check out, and stuff like that. And we'll go with that. But on that, does anybody have any ideas about this guy? Like anything else you'd like to add, or got a little bit more? I know that took an hour, Jay. Yeah. Unsolved, so we're not going to do the last Unsolved. I'm going to save that one for in the Discord. We'll talk about that one in the Discord next week when they come in. What do you think? We'll just toss that one in with something. But I do have a presentation on the 12 most notorious from Louisiana. And it is kind of short. So let me just put this up. I'm trying not to get rid of Jay's lovely icon there. Oh, look at that. It is kind of small, but I'm just going to read through here. We have 12 serial killers that are famous from the Louisiana area. They're not all done like, of course, they didn't all do it during Mardi Gras or anything, but it was from that area. We have Derek Todd Lee, the Baton Rouge serial killer. Lee was sentenced to death after he was convicted of murder in 2004, but the total number of victims Lee killed remains unknown. Convictions and evidence tie Lee to at least 7 killings in South Louisiana, but authorities suspect he may have been responsible for more. Lee never confessed to those additional killings before he died in 2016 of heart disease. And you know what, Jay? I think these are too small. You're not going to be able to read, are you?
Oh, I can read them.
Okay, then you take the next one, and then I'll take the one after that.
Just
okay.
A second. Krabby asked a question, so.
Okay.
There you go, Krabby. Okay. So John Allen Muhammad, the DC sniper. Though Muhammad is most known for his murders, sniping spree in DC area in 2002, the Baton Rouge native was also responsible for a killing in Louisiana also. Muhammad was tied to the 2002 murder of Hong M. Bollinger in Baton Rouge. After Muhammad was executed, he was cremated and his ashes were returned to Louisiana.
So there you go. And the next, come on, presentation work. Oh, come on. Why does it do that? Okay. Russell Elwood. Though Elwood was only convicted of 1 murder, authorities suspect he is responsible for at least 25 other killings in the New Orleans area. Recently, some have begun to suspect that Elwood was the man who once called the Howard Stern Show and confessed to dozens of murders in the New Orleans area. The caller to the show used the name Clay, but revealed details of killings that only the police knew at the time. The FBI reportedly took the recordings of the show, and Howard Stern never mentioned it on air again.
Now, this is one I just recently heard about. I hadn't had a chance to look into. I had recently seen something about a serial killer calling into Howard Stern. So now I know the name.
Yep. See, look at Jay. This is a fruitful partnership. This just could go anywhere. Like, look out, YouTube. Like, look out. Okay. All right. So let me just. Why is this not okay? Let me get the next one up for you. If the presentation will cooperate with the. Come on. Why is it? No. Oh man. Oh, I know. Okay. Here we go. There you go. Can you read that? It's so tiny.
Yep. No, I got it. Okay. Nathaniel Code, the Shreveport serial killer. Between 84 and 87, Code committed multiple murders across the Shreveport area. Code killed 8 people, including his own grandfather. He was convicted of murder and sentenced to death in 89. Well, that was a pretty quick trial.
That was, yeah. That's like, wow. That, and that doesn't happen now, as we all know.
Yeah.
Clementine Barnabette. The voodoo murders. Now, these were pretty big. Like, I would like to look into this later. The most prolific female serial killer in Louisiana history, Barnabette confessed to 35 murders, but many are questionable. Between 1911 and 1912, many noted a large number of deaths along the Southern Pacific Railroad in South Louisiana. Barnabette confessed to these murders, but while she was in custody, similar murders continued in the same area. Barnabette claimed her killings were part of the Church of Sacrifice in Lake Charles. According to her confessions, she claimed he had been granted supernatural powers from a priestess in the church. Barnabette was convicted of the murders in 1912, but was mysteriously released from prison in 1923 and disappeared after her release. Now that is a murder minion case right there. Like, is that not a perfect little nugget of discussion for later? All right, we read this guy. All right.
No.
All right, go ahead. You know what happened? Because it jumped to the end, we may have a repeat, so just keep your eye out. But go ahead with this one.
So Ronald Joseph Dominique, the Bayou serial killer. Dominique confessed to and was convicted of killing 23 men in Turbonne, Lafourche, Iberville, and Jefferson parishes. I probably murdered like.
It's terrible. Just say terrible. It's like yeah, okay.
The killings took place between 1997 and 2007. Dominique confessed to his killings, and in 2008 he was sentenced to 8 life sentences. Though through his confession, he avoided the death penalty.
So he avoided it. That's good. It'd be good, you know. Let's see. The next one.
Always Grateful said that the voodoo community didn't want that last lady.
No. Oh my gosh, I just lost the whole
You
thing.
broke it.
I'm sorry, I just lost the whole thing. I absolutely hate. All right. Hold on. I'm going to put us back up while I try to get it back because it just went fluey. Technical difficulties, but I'm not going to get flustered, right? So, how about the voodoo murders? Like, they were hot. They were definitely. I'm telling you, that is definitely going to be a discussion in the Discord. For sure. Do you remember the name of the last person we spoke of?
That was Code.
Okay.
No, Dominique was the last one we talked about.
Okay. Okay, so I know where we are, and we can go backwards from that. And I'm going to get it back up. It can't hide from me. I knew where it was. You will not defeat me, StreamYards. You know they kicked me from my own stream like how many times, like in the last couple of weeks. And hold on. It's messy for a minute, and then it's gonna pop up. Okay. Hopefully it will be good. Come on. Yay! Look at that, Jay. You want it? There you
I
go.
don't see anything. I just got a black screen.
You do?
Yeah.
I got the screen.
There it
Okay.
goes.
Oh, there you go. Can you see Robert? Robert, are you there? Hello, Robert.
Robert Hohenberg.
You okay?
I can take it.
Okay, take it. Yeah, go ahead.
Robert Hohenberger, an accused serial killer. This one-time sheriff's deputy was accused of 5 murders in Morgan City, Louisiana, when he took his own life as the police tried to arrest him. Hohenberger was the only suspect in the kidnapping and killings, and everyone from the citizens of Morgan City to federal authorities all considered him to be the killer.
Yep, there you go. Samuel Little is a very popular name. You may remember him. Samuel Little is recognized as some to be the most prolific serial killer in American history. He confessed to 93 killings, and authorities say 60 of those were confirmed. Little confessed to at least 6 killings in Louisiana area. That's why we're listing them here, because some of the victims were from the area. So
Sam Little is in a very he's an interesting case because he not only did he claim to have killed 93 people, he claims to have killed at least one person in every state, including Alaska and Hawaii, I believe. But he would draw his victims out. He would actually draw the victims for the FBI. He couldn't remember names. He could remember places, but he could remember what they were wearing, what they looked like. And then his drawings are the ones that got him to where they had confirmed 60 victims. So yeah, Sam Little is definitely going to be one we will be covering at some point because they said he is probably one of the most prolific in U.S. history.
I do. Before you cover this next one, I just want to answer Raven. Yeah, we're going to cover Marie Laveau. I really want to. I do. So that's a yeah. If Jay goes with me on that, that would be great.
I don't know anything about Marie Laveau, so that would be actually an interesting one to.
Oh, good. That'd be good. You see, look at Raven. We're like enticing him left and right over here. Thank you for helping me with that. We got to keep him interested in this. And then go on. I'm sorry.
So the only thing I know about Marie Laveau is she was the voodoo queen in New Orleans, and she would hold a battle of the bands every year in which the Blues Brothers band lost to the Louisiana Gator Boys.
I would like to stay in Louisiana for a little while. So since we're not doing anything on Thursday, I would say Monday, let us do Laveau and the Voodoo Murders. If you would, I really would like to finish up with Mardi Gras and a little happiness, like,
Yeah, no,
with
that's fine.
Louisiana. It's a nice theme. I enjoy the colors, made me happy. And Janae, no, it might be a little blood mixed in with the glitter there. That's why I chose this backdrop, because to me too, it looked like it might have been some splatters around there. She's asking me if it's blood on the brick wall in the back. It's supposed to be very festive, but I do still see, as a murder minion, I do always see blood splatter in places other people don't see it. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. So there. Are you going to do the Countess Elizabeth Bathory? Is she from Louisiana? Because I'll toss
No,
her in, but no.
she's
Oh,
not.
but I will. You know what? I will add that to the list. And Righteous First. If you guys want to join Murder Minions, if you actually talk to us, I think Jay and I would be interested in doing something together with you on that. Maybe if we can find some time, because that sounds interesting. If there's a lot there. Well, anyway, hit us up. Either way, thank you for the name. I appreciate it. The Voodoo Queen of New Orleans.
That's why Raven wants to go to New Orleans.
It is quite enticing. Okay, you take Henry Lee. You all right? It
uh,
is. It's a great place to be. Great place to be.
Henry Lee Lucas, the deadly drifter. Though he's only
Hmm.
convicted of 11 murders, he confessed to over 100 killings, but many of those murders were called into question, and Lucas was labeled a pathological liar. Even with the disputes over his confessions that later arose, he was still indicted on murder charges in Bossier Parish in 1984. He claimed, I do know about Henry Lee Lucas. Henry would claim victims that were victims of other serial killers,
Hmm.
and where there was absolutely no way he could have been anywhere near those killings at the time, but he still claimed that he did it. So
Hmm.
whether and the only reason he was actually convicted of the 11 murders he had confessed to is because he was able to provide details on those 11 murders that he couldn't for the other.
Hmm. Wow.
So
Hmm. It's backwards. So, did you know the Axeman, like, he kind of made the list of the 12 most notorious serial killers from Louis. And gee, I can't even imagine why, but I think Verilion remembers all that blood from the grocery store with me and reminded us that, he was very messy. So he should be here. The Axeman continues to be one of the most notable unsolved serial killer mysteries in the United States. Between May of 1918 and October of 1919, 12 people were attacked with an axe in the New Orleans area. Half of those attacked died from their injuries. The case was never solved, even though the Axeman wrote a letter to the public. There you go. There you go. Can you see that one?
yeah, Sean Vincent Gillis, the other Baton Rouge killer. Gillis killed 8 women between 94 and 2004. After he was arrested at his home in 2004, Gillis confessed to the majority of his crimes right away. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, probation, or suspension of sentence.
Wow.
I don't know, Sean. I've never heard that name.
I don't. You know what? See.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason we do this together. Your list is growing. My list is growing. Their list is growing. It's like, we all think we're like so immersed in this. There's so much more. It's so huge. There's like so much everywhere.
And it's
Uh,
nice to hear about killers I haven't heard of because
mhm.
it
Yeah.
keeps things interesting. Because you can
Hmm.
only listen to the same serial killer stories over and over. Well, unless
Hmm.
for me,
You
unless
know.
it's a camper, and then I
Hmm.
can listen to them forever. But
Yeah. We have
after
our
a while, they
favorites.
get
Yeah.
boring.
Hmm. Yeah. Janae said that there was a Netflix doc on that Henry
Yep,
Lee Lucas.
there is.
That's very, very, very interesting. And Squidward wants to ask us if we are or have done or covered H. Holmes.
You want my honest opinion?
Well, I don't want you to come up here on YouTube and lie. Of course I do. Okay, like this
Uh,
is come
with the
on.
exception of how he connects to other cases, I will never purposely cover H. Holmes.
Is he the one that they think is the Ripper?
Yeah, and they also say he was America's first serial killer, which is bullcrap.
Well,
The only
no.
thing
Yeah.
interesting about H. Holmes was his murder castle.
Oh, you see that, Squidward? I'm gonna go look. Jay's very against this, so of course, being the contrarian that I am, I'm gonna go peek at it. But I did not think it was Holmes that was the Ripper. But I do like the idea that they came to America and just continued to kill. Like I do think that Jack the Ripper didn't just die over there and it just went away. I think he went elsewhere and just got a little bit different style. I think he was just too enticing for me to let go.
I actually talk about that in my Jack the Ripper video.
I can't wait. So let's go. After this, everybody go and we're gonna, you should go check out Jay's Jack the Ripper video that he just dropped on that. And Righteous Verse says New Orleans is where Daphne McCarty did her dirty murders, right? Yes. The one they loosely used in American Horror Story. Yes, I do believe that's right. We're still definitely going to have to cover that Norwegian black metal thing. Yes, we do. Godless Gumma. But I'm waiting on your schedule. If you give me like a time period sometime in the future, I'll be ready and we can do it. But I know your schedule is a little harder to go around than mine, and also with Jay's new schedule. But we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I think it took us 6 months to get together for AITA. It will probably be done this one by the end of the year. Let's make a goal to finish this by the end of the year, and we'll be right on track. But it'll be good because of our schedule. It's just like he's over the pond. Jay has full-time work. I'm I have like 9,000 streams, as Jay likes to tell everybody. But we will definitely. I am that one just blows my mind away. I want to do that one. Yep.
So I am going to nominate tonight's Murderbot killer for I Am Raven. She's been all over him tonight.
Yes, Raven. Thank you for smashing the bots. Thank you. Okay, so did we? I was supposed to read Danny, and I just forgot, didn't I?
We did, we did Axeman, we did Gillis. Yeah,
okay, so Danny Rawling, the Gainesville Ripper, originally from Shreveport, Rawling is said to be responsible for 8 killings. His murders were the subject of national attention when he killed 5 college students in Florida in August of 1990. Rawling confessed to a triple homicide in Shreveport prior to his execution. So they put him here in Louisiana because the last one he did, the one he got convicted for, was from Louisiana. But most of his killings were out of the state. You want to have Muhammad?
We already did that one.
Okay. We did that one?
Yeah.
We did it? Okay. So did we do Todd too? Then this is where it started and we're done.
Yeah, Derek Codley. Yep, got him too.
Yep. Yay! We finished it. Oh, yay! And they didn't kick us out. Hey, you know what, Jeff? That's great. Let's talk. I'll set up a stream. Me and Jay will try to figure something out. But he's got 2 weeks off, Jay. We're go for the metal murders.
Figure something out.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Louisiana on Monday, and then we'll talk. We got the week after that. We'll try to get something on during the week. Maybe we'll make a special episode for the weekend or something, Jay. Like to do that.
Well, I was thinking. Because I don't have D&D Wednesday night. We could do a Wednesday night show of True Serial instead of on Thursdays.
No, we can't because Johnny Depp, I love him, and he's going to boot you, Jay. I'm sorry. He's fine, and he's got a big criminal case. A big civil case going against that Heard girl I don't like.
What time is your Johnny Depp at?
10 o'clock. 10 o'clock.
See, we can do it at 7.
Yeah, here you go. And you wonder why I have 9,000 streams. You hear this, people? You hear this? You see this?
Well, it would normally be on Thursday, but I got to work, so.
I know. That's okay. That only gives us 2 days to investigate and pull it together. You think? Well, can you do that?
What do you want to talk about?
The black metal thing. If Jeff is available, Norwegian black metal murders.
Oh,
it was gruesome. It was absolutely gruesome.
Yeah, we can look into that.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk. We're going to talk after stream, Jeff. We'll get together with you. Thank you. But thank you for letting me know you have 2 weeks because I like to stream. We definitely like to stream with you. It'll be cool. Let's see what else you can do. I'll see you on Mayhem. I'm such a YouTuber, and I was like, but anyway. Thank you for killing the bots, ladies.
Yeah, Raven said it was only 2 bots. Yeah, but you got them both. So
yeah, you got them both. You definitely did. Oh yeah. Okay. Now the other thing we have to talk about is when we want to do another roundtable. But since you don't have it, we want to do the black. We're kind of full for this week and possibly most half of next week. So if we're going to be doing another Murder Minions roundtable to where people get invited up to join us in the discussion and we talk about either a particular topic or a particular murder or something like that. Jay, did you have something in mind that you wanted to cover for the next one?
I thought. Well, my thought was is we have them come on and talk to us about their favorite cases.
Yeah, you can be hear from you guys. So if you guys are interested in that, we could set that up. So by the time we meet again, which will, since it may be Wednesday for a special one, or at the latest Monday, if you guys could let us know if you're interested in that, we set that up and we'll get a time and a place for you to have another Murder Minions roundtable with us where you actually can come up. Those of you that don't want to get on be on the panel, will allow questions and statements in the chat that we'll read out. So you're still actively participating in the discussion. So just because you don't want to come up on panel, don't feel like it's something you can't be a part of. We will bring that up. I'll bring that up as comments and questions, but if you want to come up on panel and give us, tell us what it's like. We had a very successful one last time. Mm-hmm. Some of you came up and told us some great stories. We all interacted, and you get a little comfortable. It's nice to hear what you guys like about this. I mean, Jay and I, it's obvious what we like. Everything, about this, But yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. All right. So on that, I mean, unless we have any more, Jake, I know that you're not doing anything on Thursday. Is there a cults and conspiracies for Wednesday morning coming up?
Yep. That will be Nazis on the moon.
Nazis on the moon. Now, okay. All right, Jay. Is this something I need to know about?
Just Google Nazis on the moon. It'll be a fun one.
I don't know. That sounds to me just the title alone, people, you're going to have to get up with your coffee and go check that out. I don't know. It could make for an interesting day to start your day Wednesday morning with that. I'm just saying, that's quite interesting on over there. For me, my next one is tomorrow. I'll be doing another Enough is Enough stream, which is just about the community, coming together in speaking about safe places and things like that to actually just, tell some of the stuff that's going on, talk about some of the issues, and just give them a little support to let them know they're not out there, that everybody, sees things, and, try to bring people more together instead of apart. But I got to tell you, Jay, whenever you try to bring people together, it's like all hell breaks loose. It's like people are walking around like they're magnets or something. Like they just cannot. And I feel like it's very frustrating when you think you're like fighting science. Like, because I'm not going to fight science. Science is always right. So I don't know. I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But anyway, that's going to be at 9:00. Aaron from EKC will be there. Kelly from Commentary Kelly will be there. I am waiting for total commitments on the rest. Several people said they will more than likely be there, but I don't want to put their names out there and then you all tell them there are no shows, if something happens. But we'll go on that. But on that, I think I'm going to wrap up. We're over the hour, which I always said I'm keeping to. I talk too much, Jay. I talk too much. It's okay. Well, so we'll see Jay on Wednesday morning over at Hereticals. There's no True Serial show on Thursday. We may or may not see you with a murder thing. Just keep your eyes open. We'll be doing something during the week on a murder thing. A really great case that Godly Scummer brought us. Very fascinating. I think you're really gonna like it. It's a lot. It's like it needs a trigger warning. It's pretty gory, but it is also at the same time. It's got metal, in rock, and mystery, and all of that involved. So I think they'll like it.
And don't forget, this Friday on Hereticals is the Fundy Awards.
That's right. That's right. So usually, yep, we are definitely at Hereticals going to be doing the fundies, and that's at 6 a.m. on Friday morning over at Hereticals. I'm going to have the schedule up on the back, and that'll be listed also because I panel over there so that you can keep all of this straight. Because there's a lot, like Jay says, it's not easy to let you know about 9,000 places I'm going to be, but whatever.
Just remember that I am up for a Fundy Award this weekend. This
Are
Friday.
you?
I am.
Wait, I did. I voted for you, didn't I? I guess you did.
Favorite theist.
Yeah, he is. And you know what? And you know what? Are you going to remember us little people when you win your award, get all famous and shit?
Maybe.
Maybe. Because that fundy is going to change everything, right? I don't know. Anyway, it's going to be so much fun. That's 6 a.m.
I'm supposed to be wearing a bow tie, so.
Whoa, yeah, get a Raven. Yes, get them dressed up. And you know what? And I think there's something in the rules about winners got to dab. I think I read that. Winners got to dab when they pick up their award. They got to dab. So. They have to dab right on. They dab to the left as they pick up their reward to the right. No, anyway. And also, Kelly is very excited. You see her putting there. She goes, "Oh, well, if we're going to talk about Friday, let me tell you what else we're doing Friday." She said, "Oh, like this is one of our most favorite streams to do because we get to talk about some crazy stuff that the bigger YouTubers are doing in the commentary areas and stuff, some of the more famous one. And it's called, oh my God, what the fuckery. It's 1 a.m. in the morning. It's Friday morning, 1 a.m. That's like just past midnight on Thursday. But yeah, it's going to be fun. And Kelly was going to be there with me. And so will Josh and Pickle. And, we're looking to see if we can get another guest or two there too, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Is the gherkin still lurking?
The gherkin is still lurking. I mean, the gherkin. Yeah, I love paneling with the gherkin because she's funny. She's definitely funny. And Jeff wants to remind us that case has, the one that we want to cover, the heavy metal case, has got heavy metal murder, Satanism, fascism, grave desecration, and church burnings. I'd say the Norwegian black metal story has it all. It's a mouthful, Jay. It is. And it's very dark and it's very, it just had everything. Every time I was like one sentence after another, it just keeps building and building. There's just so much. All right. So on that, again, so I'm not a liar. I'm just going to put on the outro and we're going to get the heck out of here. Everybody, we will keep seeing you during the week. Wish Jay a very, very good night, and we'll see him on Wednesday morning. No show on Thursday, just as a reminder. But hey, go check out Jack the Ripper. It's got to be great because he knows a lot about Jack the Ripper, and apparently there's a lot of words. Jay said there was over almost 1,300 words.
13,000.
Oh, 13,000. I'm sorry. Yeah. 13,000 words. That's it. Yeah. Okay, everybody. Let's go hear Jay talk. 13,000 words. This is going to be good. And it's Jack the Ripper. It can't be bad. It just cannot. And apparently we're going to discuss that DNA in there, you said? About
Yeah. DNA is discussed towards the end.
I'm interested in that part too. So on that, everybody, have a great night. We'll talk to you later. Jay, have a great night. We'll see you. And everybody in the chat, Murder Minions, we'll see you. Don't forget the Discord. Get in touch with us if that's what you want. And let me do the YouTube things. Actually, I shouldn't have to do the YouTube things. Y'all should be doing the YouTube things. You need to like, subscribe, comment, something. Help a bear out here. I know people are watching, but they're just not pushing that damn button. I need you to go to your friends and make them push the button. Push the damn button. Just subscribe. We're getting there one by one. And I have to say, I admire and I respect and I actually enjoy the company of every single one of you. And on that, we're out. Okay.
Take care of yourself. Take care of your family, everyone.
Yeah. Have a great one.